We're the Phat Peeps.
Hey, peeps.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phat Peeps podcast. This is a comedy slash tech nerd media podcast where we, the Phat Peeps, get together and talk about news while making bad jokes. I'm one of the Phat Peeps and your host today, Joey, and I'm here with PJ.
Hello, everyone.
We got Garrick
Hello, how are you?
and cameraman John.
How are you? Hello.
And Poo Poo.
And we got some fun topics. And Blue, of course, in the background. You can hear barking.
Pork.
Anyway, we got some fun topics today, like GameStop,
Game
And-
stonks.
Stadia. But before we get to that, we always start the podcast with the icebreaker question of the
Oh.
day. Today's icebreaker question is, type of clothing do you never wear?
Oh, great question, Joey.
Do you never wear or would you never wear?
I guess it says will never wear. So like
Yeah, can we
something
get-
that you're like morally opposed to wearing for one reason or
Morally-
another.
Okay.
I'm
Like-
morally
Not
opposed
morally,
to
but you
this,
know what I mean.
Oh, no.
No,
There's
I'm
definitely
morally
some
opposed to
morally
the
against.
sentence structure.
Sure, you can be morally opposed to it, but I mean, there's other reasons that you could be opposed to it.
Okay. Why don't you guys go first? Because there's one that I think everyone might say or someone else might say, and I'm going to leave that one open just in
Go
case
on.
it's a lifeline.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
I need examples because
I mean, I
I don't
can't.
like really,
Go
I
ahead.
don't like really puffy jackets.
Okay, I'm on board
Okay.
with that. I'm not completely opposed to wearing them, but I'm on board with that.
like is this like clothing you never buy and wear? Or
You
is
wouldn't
it
be
if you're
caught dead
given it?
wearing.
Yeah, like if somebody
Oh.
bought it for you, you'd be like, I don't like that. I'm not gonna wear that. I'm sorry. You need to like take that back and get me something
Oh.
else.
I feel like John wouldn't do that. He would just
Uh,
like leave it in his closet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or you
I
could
mean,
do
it'll be
that, I
left
guess.
in my closet for a while. But I mean, it's like if someone gives me like a piece of article of clothing to wear, like, and I think it's funny or it looks god awful, I'll be like, yeah, I'll put it on because it's funny. I mean, were you looking for like skirts and stuff like that?
No, like
Is that what you?
let's not cross like the boundary of that. I mean that that's
Like, I would
tough.
totally be
Like,
down.
what
if you wanna,
type, what
if you guys
article
go,
of clothing do you think looks stupid and you're never gonna wear it?
Yeah, so it doesn't
Like,
have to
that's
be.
why
Uh,
I don't wear puffy jackets because I think they
Oh,
look stupid on my
oh,
frame,
those-
and I don't want to
those-
look like the Michelin Man. Boom, there you go.
All
Yes.
those not hip hop the little kid rappers with the
What?
it's not saggy pants, but they're
Like
made to look
diaper
saggy.
bottoms.
Diaper bottoms. Those are so stupid.
Diaper
Like,
bottom.
why was that even a fashion thing?
I didn't know that was actually a thing.
That's not what they're called.
They pretty much look like.
But that's what
diaper
they look
bottoms.
like. They
Yeah,
make them look
it's
like
like-
they're toddlers with
Yeah,
a
the
full
toddlers
diaper.
that shit their pants and yeah, and they're just like hobbling around, rapping or singing
Oh,
or whatever
wow.
the kids do. I feel like an old man.
I have never
Oh,
ever
damn
heard
kids.
the
Damn
term
kids.
diaper bottoms, but I am officially in love with that now.
Yeah, because
Oh.
that's exactly what they look like.
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like-
Are those
feel like-
even really like in fashion anymore?
I don't think so because I haven't.
I
seen
feel
anything.
like rappers want to be able to walk on the stage now.
Yeah, I think skinny jeans is in vogue now, even in the rap scene.
Yeah, but like the new thing is sagging skinny jeans. Like, how do you do that? I don't.
It's designed
Easy.
with that.
They don't fall off as much because
Very
they're tied around your
carefully.
legs.
You trip
Exactly.
off.
And it cuts off blood circulation, and you almost die from it.
Yeah, they just keep that wide stance like a cowboy.
You sound like somebody who's never actually worn skinny jeans.
I have
before.
not worn skinny jeans. There's
Oh,
many
awkward.
reasons
Yeah.
for that. Not only because I'm fat, but also because I don't think I'd ever want to.
Oh,
That's
It's-
the thing. It's like I wouldn't like
I-
not wear skinny jeans, but just the way my thunder thighs are, I can't
Yeah.
fit.
No, I wouldn't be able
Oh.
to either. Even when I was
Um,
skinnier and I lost all that weight, my thighs still were too giant yams
Yeah.
trying to get into
The
pants.
you heard it here first. The fat peeps are
Yeah,
thick.
I mean, we are thick.
There's a reason
But again, I
why.
wouldn't
It's a double
mind
entendre.
if my yeah, like if my body could fit in them, I probably wouldn't mind them. You
Yeah,
know?
because then you could show off
that's the
sexy
thing
ass.
for most. Yeah, most clothing is like if my body type can fit those clothing, I wouldn't mind it. It's just
Yeah.
my body doesn't
Yeah.
work with a
I-
lot of stuff.
That's kind of how I am too. Like I feel like this question could be like a loaded question because this would mean any body type would you not wear these particular items. Why don't we go
Yeah.
with that? Because I wouldn't be caught in skinny jeans now because I wouldn't want to A, cut off blood circulation, B, I couldn't get in them, and C, people probably don't want to see that. But even
Yeah, there's a lot of
Oh wow.
so
there's
there's
a lot of
probably-
detail there for me.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So
He really thought that
definitely.
out.
Okay, Garrick, why don't you go? Because I feel like I have a weird feeling that you might have the primary one that
Oh
I'm going
wow.
with.
Well, yeah, my wardrobe is a very simple wardrobe. I usually walk around with a t-shirt and some jeans. On a hot day, I usually rock a pair of shorts. Yeah, and don't forget the shoes. But and I don't really explore too much as far as like styles and
You
and
were a
trends and
walking
stuff
billboard.
back in the day, but
What?
but it was like I just didn't like I still didn't like I still didn't consider myself having a sense of style. Like it's just like, oh wow, it looks cool, I'll wear it. But I don't know. The first thing that came to my mind when this question was posed was I can't really imagine myself rocking a romper for some reason.
What's a romper?
It's it's a onesie essentially.
Yeah. Think
But
of
for day. for
think
the
of
day.
is it Peppy Longstocking that wore a romper?
I don't know who that is, and I doesn't
feel
sound like
like
I care
she-
to know.
Did.
All I see is like
was a
it's
cartoon
like
character.
like a one piece dress.
Yeah,
all I
that's
see on
that's a
Google.
romper.
Oh,
Doesn't it's
Dude.
not always a dress. It'll have like shorts on the bottom.
okay.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel like we should do it.
I think usually it'll have like when people think of a romper, it's like a top with pants, like shorts.
It's like the patterns are very out there, so it looks like pajamas but with shorts.
Sarah has a romper. She's worn
So
it
it's like a jumpsuit, but shorts, like
Kind
a short
of.
jumpsuit.
Like a summer jumpsuit kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah,
dependent.
yeah,
I can
yeah,
see
exactly.
us all in it, just rocking a romper. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, sure if we do it together, but I don't know. It wouldn't be my first choice, essentially. Here, I'll show you guys a quick example if you guys. Oh no. But anyways, while I'm pulling up that example, feel free to go ahead.
Well, I guess I'm the last one. So, and no one took mine. I'm rather surprised.
Oh, wow.
So I'm interested to know if it would be something anyone else would wear. Banana hammock, definitely not on my list of things that I'd
Oh.
ever wear.
I would do that in private.
I feel like even in private, I would disappoint myself.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
a special someone, uwu.
Yes. That looks like that would
Yeah.
hurt though.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I
You're
guess
not
I get
supposed
that.
to give yourself a wedgie, right?
Yeah.
I
Unless
don't
I
know.
mean,
you,
you wanna have
like
it
that.
You want to
I
have
think-
one that's fitted right.
Yeah. That's a professional job.
That's true.
So, and then my backup was actually pre-ripped jeans because why?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
that's just dumb.
Oh, do you guys remember one of those really expensive brands wearing down jeans to make it look
Uh-huh.
like workers' jeans like
Didn't-
years ago? And
We went to
Mike
that store,
Rowe-
right?
And Mike Rowe chewed out that brand like because
Yeah.
it was an insult to actual
Working
workers
people.
who yeah, like I'm gonna pay hundreds of dollars for these pair of jeans just to look like I did work, even though I'm from old money and I get free handouts.
I
from
wonder
mom
how
and
much
dad.
my like work pants from Sharky's be worth with all the salsa and bleach stains in it.
Oh wow!
If
Ooh,
it had a brand
very-
name to it, it would be like
Yeah.
the priciest pants ever.
I mean, it's a
Yes.
Kohl's brand, so
Oh,
Wait, do you guys
wow.
remember we went to that one area? Where was it? It was like Long Beach or something.
Okay.
There's
Yeah.
like a and that store we went to. It was
Yeah.
just all just. It looked like a what's it called, a thrift store? Not a thrift store. Yeah, a thrift store clothing.
Okay.
It's all worn down and stuff. But we looked at the price tags, like hundreds of dollars
It was an
Oh,
for
open
like a worn
mall.
down.
Yeah, I
Yeah, it was
remember.
open mall. I was like, what the heck? People buy this?
Yeah, it was like a.
Holy
It
cow.
was
I
like
think it was just a
pre-torn, like denim
regular.
jackets and stuff like
There was
that.
that, and then there's also just regular T-shirts, and the regular T-shirts were like $299,
Oh,
and then they put a slash through,
ridiculous.
and it's
Who
like,
buys
no,
this?
it's actually $279.99. Like,
Wow,
What a deal. I did put my example of the romper in the to do here if you want to check it out. But anyways, yeah,
that's it for me.
Yeah.
I highlighted it if you guys want to look at it.
To do. What? Oh, here it is.
It's nice. It's huge.
Oh dear Jesus, no. Anyhow, Joey, don't look
All
at
right,
it too
well,
long.
let's get into some actual topics of discussion now.
Oh wow.
We're gonna lead off with this one. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up, but the stock market has been kind of crazy lately with the whole GameStop stock and the Redditors and the such.
Gamestock.
But anyway, this was first reported by Deadline. Apparently, the writer of the book that would go on to become the basis for the social network, Ben Mesrich, is working on a book based on the Reddit Wall Street bets GameStop nonsense, and has also sold the rights to MGM to make the movie about it.
I wonder what
Yeah.
the timeline is for that. Did they say anything in the any articles?
I mean, I don't know.
I'm gonna say
'Cause,
probably
like,
a year or two at least.
I mean, it's a while out, right? Because, like, you know, they just got started in pre-production,
Yeah.
so
And if you look
like
back to
just
some of the
got started.
if you look back to some of the older based on true story investor shows like Margin Call or The Big Short, and those took a couple years. So, but I think it's worth it. People will remember, oh yeah, I remember when GameStop went all crazy. I was
remember.
there.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
mean,
also like an element here where I think there's still a lot more like investigation to be like
Yeah.
the full story needs to be like
Oh, yeah.
gathered and consolidated before they can really go forward, whereas like some of those other things have had time to you know, gestate, if you will.
It's almost
People can learn
I
about
think
them.
it's just them trying to claim the rights to do it, just saying,
Yeah.
oh, we're already in the works, quote unquote, even though we don't even have like a working title at all. It's just like, oh, we're gonna do this before anyone.
That's become a huge part of like media culture. It's just like, oh, we know something, and it will happen eventually. It's just to like, yeah, like you're saying, they want to put their face on it, and it's very stupid because then if it doesn't happen, it makes them look really dumb. Either that
Some
or
people
it
will
doesn't matter
forget.
because it goes away. Yeah, exactly. History, it just erases over it. Like, oh well, that never happened.
But as
Yeah,
far
that's a
as
fun-
the controversy goes, it's an interesting thing. Like there were a lot of moves that were made that were not like in favor of the correct thought process, and there was seemed like to be a lot of biases towards the bigger fish, and that would be an interesting story of people love the underdog too, so Reddit being the underdog and all that is going to be people are going to be all for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about is who are the players in this story?
Yeah.
Pretty much, because like the Social Network movie was fantastic. I mean, it's about Mark Zuckerberg, but it's like a really interesting story that they told in the movie. And
Yeah.
if they could pull off that for this, then yeah, it's like I'm down for it. I'm down for Gamestock's movie.
Yeah, if they do this right, it'll be a great movie because you like you're as us looking in, it's looking like we can only just see the surface, like the scratches of what actually went on, but it goes way deeper than what we'll ever know until they make a movie about it.
Yep. But yeah, I'm still kind of like questioning it just because there like a main person? Because it's kind of hard to tell a story when it's just like an entity like Reddit or I don't know. But I'm not
They
too. I'm not
might
too.
They'll
they
have like
might
a
do what
deep
they
dirt
usually
character.
do and kind of consolidate
Yeah, like one character
people into
is
one
Reddit.
character.
I am
Yeah.
Reddit.
Yeah, they'll have
Kinda
like a
like
shadowed character in the background, like
Yeah.
with shorts on, and he'll just be talking. They like deepen his voice, like I was just working one night and I decided to look up stocks, and I wanted to call to action to save GameStop, and it'd just be like this really nerdy guy.
Is that what you think all Redditors are,
Oh my
PJ? Oh my!
goodness.
Definitely.
I'm sorry for any of
Holy
our
cow.
Redditor fans out there.
I'm sorry.
I think that Reddit is one of the most intelligent like communities around. In that
There's so many
regard, I also
communities.
think that
Yeah.
there's a lot of
within.
situations arise like this where it's just people that can get frustrated and
I don't. I know what you're doing, but I don't think you understand the vastness of Reddit. Like you can't just say Reddit is just good people. It's literally
I'm not. No, I
like
never said it was good.
the
That was
the
my
whole
point.
population, like maybe the half the population of the Earth is on Reddit at all times. Like
Right.
Yeah.
I
it's just
know. I
crazy
understand
how
it's
I'm on
a
r
huge
slash all right
place.
now, looking at puppy pictures.
Right. No, I understand it's a huge place. There's a lot of different people. I'm talking about the people that tend to make it on the news or the groups that tend to make it on news or stuff like that. It's generally well-educated people from what I see and hear. Well, I don't know a whole lot about Reddit. I'll be open and honest about that. I've read a lot of different forums and used Reddit for like tech support and stuff like that because they do have a lot of help guides for that kind of stuff. And that's what I appreciate about that. There's not too many groups that have that. Especially in like one community. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, before we move on, I was going to bring up, it's funny how like with the film industry, it almost feels like they have to like stake claims to ideas
Hollywood's out of
early.
ideas.
Yeah,
why.
well, but I mean, like when something comes up, like somebody needs to, and by somebody I mean like one of the main companies like MGM or Universal or whatever, they need to jump on it and like grab it immediately, even if it's not going to come out for who knows how long.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like people will rag on the gaming industry because they're like, oh, like Cyberpunk's a good example, right? Where it's like, oh, they announced it 8 years ago and it took forever to come out, right?
Yeah.
They announce stuff in Hollywood like decades in advance and they never even come out.
Right.
Like,
or they're on a shelf somewhere just rotting.
yeah.
Or waiting.
Yeah, or they get made and never even like get released for one reason or another.
Right.
Well, I think we had this conversation before about like corporations just claiming patents and not using, or it just, but not with the intent to not use it, but just to
Right.
exclude from people using it.
Yeah,
I guess it's the same thing.
butting
Here.
out competition. And or doing
Yeah,
it so
but-
they can sell it later.
Yeah, I was gonna say I suppose it's a little different because a lot of the time with like video games, they're not usually like a video game that gets announced. It's announced as like this is a new video game that we've been working on. It's like a new
Yeah.
idea, right? Where with like Hollywood, they like grab events and like books and stuff and are like, we're making movies out of this now. Nobody else can make movies out of this idea because we took the story and we're making a movie out of it. And that does apply to games to some extent with, you know, established properties from other media. But
Yeah, it's
other
like
forms of
you
media.
can't have another studio use the Cyberpunk rights, that IP. It's like
Right,
that's
exactly.
purely bought by CD Projekt.
I find it kind of disgusting that there's just like individual. It almost feels like scalping to an extent, where it's just like an individual that's just making up random names or something like that and just buying them out so they can sell them later. It's just, I don't know. It feels filthy to me.
Oh, like URLs.
Yeah, like website domains,
Yeah.
URLs, company names in general, or like patenting. It's just like they happen to have money, so they just do that, and then they
Yeah.
continue to keep money because of that. I mean,
Yeah.
there's some
I was-
genius to it, but at the same time, I can't admire something so like gross to do.
Yeah, I was on a film shoot that was kind of like the guy that was the boss man that was producing the whole thing was kind of like that. He was like spewing random stuff, and it's like, oh, I like that, and it was like, buy the domain for that right now. I was like, what? What? He just kept doing that. I was like, wow.
Not a fan of that
It's like,
whatsoever.
yeah, he's like, I don't think he was even gonna use that like domain idea. but he
probably
just
not.
Like, buy it, just buy it.
Yeah,
I
no,
was like,
that's
wow.
that's kind of gross. Anyhow,
Anyway, last thing before we move on, has this whole event, if you will, driven you guys to get into the investing game?
they've been in
Already
it for
have
a
been a
while.
little bit, yeah.
I haven't. I don't have money.
It-
I don't have money to do that.
It made me very nervous when I saw everything just crash.
That was the day that John took an extra long poop.
Oh,
Well, also,
yeah.
I bought some Bitcoin that day too, so that's actually been doing
Oh.
pretty well.
Great move, John.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is up.
Yeah, Bitcoin is
all
Thanks
up.
about
to
Doge.
thanks to our Lord and
Yeah,
Savior
Doge,
Elon
yeah.
Musk.
Yeah. Oh
But
yeah.
anyway,
Buy
that's
that
a different
Dogecoin out
story.
here.
What happened to
But
Gabe?
yeah, I mean, for the most part, this GameStop thing is just it's anomaly per se, but
was a
it is
bubble.
it's a needed no, and it's not a bubble. It's a needed anomaly, just to shake up the market and kind of bring to light the issues
I feel
that the market it had the favoritism
I feel like it was
away from the
a
individual
very
investor.
very micro bubble starting to form.
Uh,
It could have been
no.
some.
It
had
wasn't a
been-
micro. It was not a micro. It freaked out like everyone.
Right.
Yeah,
If it
well,
had gotten
also-
pushed further, it would have been a little bit like.
Well, basically, what happened was the hedge markets had to compensate for the huge losses from the shorts, so they took money out of their other investments and had to shift things around, which is why all of the markets took a dive, and people started getting scared too and started getting out. But it slowly recovered because people realized this is a great opportunity to invest, and that's the only thing is if people freak out too much, then that's your bubble.
Well said. Are you guys ready to move on?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
All right. It's a sad day in the world of gaming.
Oh no.
Not really. I'm joking.
Oh.
Stadia
Has no effect on anybody.
Well, it would be a sad day normally, like this event normally is sad, but it ended up not really being that bad. But anyway, Stadia is shutting down their
Stadia.
in-house development team. This was first reported by Kotaku.
Oh no.
But yeah, basically, right, if you haven't been keeping up with it, Stadia, the Google streaming platform that they launched, what, like a year ago at this point? Year and a half.
It was
Time is weird.
almost exactly a year ago that they had made the announcement. So that's the interesting thing that I liked about this article, not necessarily because it's a positive thing, but like we started this podcast around the time that there was the announcement for Stadia. Like it was going into beta and being tested and stuff like that, because I think we started
wow.
February of last year. We've actually been doing this podcast for a year now.
Oh my god.
So I thought that was pretty interesting that it didn't even out survive us. So I mean, good news for us, I guess.
Well, yeah, when's the
Anyway, back to
anniversary?
the main
Oh yeah.
a main topic. So basically, when they got everything going, did the announcement and shit, they announced that they were going to have an in-house studio headed by Jade Raymond, who Assassin's Creed. Yeah, she originally worked at Ubisoft for a long time. Anyway, she was there. They brought her on to lead the team, and I assume they were going to make, in-house games exclusive to the Stadia platform, but that's not happening because they've decided to disband the group, and of the 150 developers, they're going to be trying to roll all those people into other jobs at Google, right? So these people aren't necessarily losing their jobs. That's why I was saying it's like
good.
normally it would be really sad because a lot of the time with these closures, it's just like boom, and 100 and whatever people are out of work.
That's what I appreciate
in
about
this case,
Google. At least they care enough to do that.
I don't know if they care. I think this is more of a like
Contractual thing.
imagine. No, I think this it could be a contractual thing, but I think it's actually more of a PR thing of like imagine the shit show that it would be if Google laid off 150 people after just hiring them a year ago.
Isn't that kind of
Right.
caring, though, Joey? Because like, there's a lot of companies.
No, it's not caring. It's caring about your bottom line because you don't want to make the PR like
Right.
You don't want to make a bunch of people mad at you.
Whether the caring is like good intention or bad intention, I feel like there's a lot of companies that would just be like,
that's not how caring
No.
works.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not
like
how
it's
caring
like
works.
the
in
murderer
business,
crying.
yes, it does though. In
No, it's
business,
like
it
the
doesn't
murderer
matter
crying
if it's
'cause he got
cold
caught,
or
not 'cause
warm
he-
blood.
you know.
It matters if
There's
there's
a reason why people don't corporations donate to charities, not just for the expense, but also for the PR.
PR.
right. That's what I'm
There's
saying.
always
Like,
an underlying thing.
business does not have pure like golden heart. At least I don't fully believe that in a lot of cases, unless if they're a nonprofit that
Exactly.
were formed for that.
Right, which is
why
what
we
I'm
agree.
saying. Using the term caring is like giving them that benefit of the doubt that they do, and they don't care. They care about making money, and they
And
know
PR.
that if they take too much of a PR hit, it's going to hurt their bottom line. They're going to make less money.
Yeah. Okay.
If
Go
realistically, if they could have gotten rid of these 150 people without taking the PR hit, they would have 100%. But they knew that it was, or I guess I'm saying this as fact, but I think that this is what they did.
There definitely
They
would have
didn't
been
lay these
like
people
a
off.
filtering system to get rid of some of the ones that they didn't need or thought
Or
that they
like,
needed.
I don't know, it's just kind of like a vague of like, we'll find them other roles at the company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like Jade Raymond is just like off, but she's going to be fine because she has like a stellar, resume that she can take to whoever she wants. But I don't know. This is so, and I probably like talked about it at the time, but this is so Google, right? Of like somebody gets the ball rolling on some project and gets a bunch of like momentum behind it, and they launch it hard and fast, and it's underdeveloped and it's underthought,
And something they've
and
never
then
done.
it starts to fail, and then instead of like jumping behind it more and putting more momentum behind it, they just like let the train like run out of coal and stall on the tracks.
Right. And I feel like 10
And-
years from now, they're going to take this same endeavor again and probably succeed with it, though.
Maybe.
I feel
I
like
don't
that's
know.
the rotation of Google. They've done
Well,
stuff like this before.
Cloud gaming is coming. It's here to stay. Whether or not it's Stadia or not,
It's probably
there.
not going to be
We
Stadia.
don't know.
No, it's going to be probably more along the mobile markets if they do
Looks like
another
it's going to be
endeavor.
Microsoft.
Yeah. They'll probably do a
Just
partnering
for
or something.
clarification, though, Joey, Stadia is still around. Just their development team.
Yeah, that's the
That's
thing.
what he
right.
said.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
in-house developer is gone.
So like Stadia as a platform still exists, but it's like this is the signs, right, of it losing that steam, where it's like first you stop the in-house development and you're not making exclusives. And then next thing you know, you're not buying any more like timed exclusives or whatever, right? And then, you give it 3 years and they're like, hey, thanks everybody for supporting Stadia, but it's not financially viable for the company anymore, so we're going to discontinue the service.
What I'm
Sorry
wondering,
about the $60 games that you bought.
was there any hype behind the in-house games? Because I had never heard of any
No.
specifically.
Well, because that's the thing, is they had just formed the company.
They had,
Like
but
they wouldn't have had, they would have even had time to do any pre-production or announce anything.
Yeah, what they should have done was not start a development team, but just start hosting solid games and go from there.
put more money
And
into
then-
that instead.
And then, yeah, and license exclusives for
Well, no,
good
I don't-
franchises.
I don't think this was the wrong direction necessarily, but it's just like, it's just them not sticking to it. You know what I mean? Because like if you gave it time and you actually like built up a first party, like a set of first party studios, right? You like 3 or 4 years down the line, they could be putting out good exclusives for your platform, right? But in this case, they don't even give them the chance, right? They come in, they bring them all in, and then they fire them a year later.
Yeah,
Or not fire them, but you know what I mean. They like
Moved 'em.
discontinue the project.
Right.
Yeah.
it was poor choice, but I feel like there was just no hindsight with Google because
Well, I think it's
Or
the
they don't
state of
care.
Google, right? It's
Yeah.
like it's this giant hydra of a company, and it has so many tendrils going in so many directions that if they decide to just like cut one off, it's not that big of a deal.
yeah,
If they think one of those arms is holding them back, they're just gonna chop it off and leave it behind.
that's so scary to think like a company is that big to where it can sink millions of dollars into something and still not even care about it.
Yeah,
That's just
and just like
insanity
eat the
to
cost
me.
essentially.
Right, and it's just like, well, we'll never do that again, or we'll do that when we know it better. Like, holy crap, dude! I imagine that hundreds of years ago when there was like Rockefeller and specialty companies that only did one thing, and that was their specialty, and they did it the best. Now that's not the case anymore. You got like trusted brand names, but they're all doing millions of different things and spreading out their portfolio in order to be as big as they are. It's so
Essentially
mind-boggling.
monopolies.
Well,
Yeah, so
kind
we'll
of.
have to see down the line how long Stadia lasts, and if it continues to get any more support behind it to make the service better. But I mean, it mentions here in the Kotaku article, and I remember this at the time where when everybody was playing Cyberpunk and it was running like garbage on their machines, Stadia was the best place to play it for one reason or another. So maybe there is hope after all for the platform.
I think cloud gaming in general.
Well, there's cloud gaming. That's
because there's other forms of cloud gaming
you
that
got
I
NVIDIA
think might,
cloud and all that stuff.
and it's just a couple years off from probably being perfected. If Stadia survives it, then so be it. I don't think Google's gonna really give a shit either way. Just another experiment.
Yeah, Google as like a whole is not
They'll
really
just
going to
sell
care.
servers.
Yeah.
Or rent servers.
Yeah.
I'll have to say, didn't we talk like a few weeks ago about Amazon also jumping on this train
Yeah.
Yes.
with their like Luna?
I
that
feel
the
like that was
name
the
of it?
lost episode.
Oh, maybe it was the lost episode. No,
Yeah, it was.
no, I don't see it on there.
Oh,
no,
no.
it wasn't.
It was on the- it wa-
46.
Yeah, it was last 2 weeks ago. So
Yeah.
thank God the lost episode. And we talk about it like it's like Atlantis. It's like what? Anyhow, yeah. So I feel like Amazon maybe has a better chance, but at the same time, look what happened with Crucible.
Yeah. I mean, that's the like Amazon is the example of this if they just didn't do it right or like didn't get it right, because they did bring in a bunch of studios and have these first party studios making stuff for them, and they're all just kind of flopping.
It's funny to
Well, I mean, I guess Crucible specifically. I suppose New World's not out yet, and from what I have seen, the buzz about that seems to be generally good.
right. So they're a good example of the opposite. Like they flopped hard on one thing and got it out at least and got it tested and had a small fan base. And they're still
but then they had
continuing to try.
They took Crucible down. Is that what they did? They like
They made it-
unreleased Crucible?
Yes, it was in, I think it was open beta or closed beta, one of the two, and they basically said we're stopping development on this. There will still be private servers till whatever date, but there will be no more updates, and there's no more like matchmaking or whatever. So it's like it's still available, but limitedly. So yeah, it's
canceled.
It's canceled. Yeah, no, it's a dead project.
Yeah.
Which I think they
because I remember they put it out and then they like had it in beta and then they released it and then they put it back in beta and then they canceled it.
Right. It was a weird roller coaster. I feel like it's at least they tried. Like I said, I think Stadia was just it was too new of a thing to know what direction it was going to go, whereas Crucible kind of like it had so many issues that were riddled in it that it probably would have cost them more or been more of a headache for them to try to fix it than to just, you know, kill it while it's down. But see what happens with the next one.
All right. Well, let's move on to our game show within the game or within the podcast.
So many people to hire from. What one is the job that's done? Choose only one, Joey does. So in the end, we all ask, who should I hire?
Oh, great intro! I love this intro, BJ. Amazing.
I don't even remember what
Wait,
it
is there a
sounds
new
like.
intro for this one?
Yes.
Oh, wow!
This, of course, is Who Should I Hire? Where I come to the panel with a dilemma and I ask them who I should hire to solve my issue. Today's problem. I just got a call that we need to throw a surprise party for one of my friends. It's their birthday coming up and I forgot about it. And I need to get a cake. Who should I hire to get that cake or make that cake? Or be the cake?
Oh God.
Character.
That's tough. Who's a cake? Who likes cake? How about shoot.
A Buzz.
Go for it.
You know who you gotta call? You don't need to call anyone, Joey. Pick up that Pokeball that's in your pocket and say, Al Creamy, I choose
Al
you.
Creamy. There
Bada
you go.
bing, bada boom. You mega evolution him and you got yourself a giant
That can't
delicious
mega
cake.
evolution it.
Wait, what?
Gigantamax,
Oh,
I think
yeah,
is what
same
you're looking for.
difference. The same gimmick.
It's not the same gimmick.
Yeah,
Does he
well,
get
you
deducted points for that?
what was it called again? Mega.
No.
Wait, fuck. What was it called again?
Gigantamax.
Yeah, you gigantic. I can't even say that word anymore.
Gigantic
You
axe.
Gigantamax that Al Cream. You got yourself a cake,
You
buddy.
get your points back for that one. Gigantic axe. I like that.
My Jackaback axe.
Pokemon, you hear?
I like that. But I don't know. Can we eat the alchemy?
Oh fuck yeah! You can eat any Pokemon.
The whole entire time it's like
I mean, in
we
Gen-
just pin
in
it
Gen
down
2
and start
they-
slicing slices
Yeah,
out.
exactly.
God,
In
that
Gen
sounds
2, they introduced
horrifying.
Slowpoke Tail, so I mean, it's like, why can't you eat any other Pokemon?
Oh,
Do I have to
God.
like hit it in the head first to like kill it?
I
and
think it
then-
enjoys it. It seems like a type of Pokemon that enjoys kind of that what's the self mutilation, you know. He's like, oh, ew, cut me, baby, pit me in your mouth. But you know, in his Pokemon voice.
Gigantigax.
Don't think too much
Well,
about it.
alright.
It's just a giant cake.
That's a pretty good answer. Does anybody else have any counters?
Wait, what's the criteria again for any
The
fictional
criteria is I need a cake.
It's a freaking cake.
Yeah.
Give him a cake.
character? Oh, okay.
So you can hire somebody to make me a cake. You can hire something to be the cake. In the case of alchemy, it is the cake.
Okay, I'll just go with Cooking Mama because she's well versed and has done things for a really long time. She's probably one of the most surviving chef video game cooking characters, and she's been all over the place with being a chef and a cooking person. How about that? She's like the Rachel Ray of video games.
But can she attack your mouth with whipped cream
Oh.
by squirting
Oh,
whipped
whoa.
cream? Infinite whipped cream, because Pokemon.
No, if it's dead, John, it can't do that.
Well, you gotta. I mean, you don't kill it. You just knock it out and take a little chunk off of it.
Then it's dead.
That's-
John,
That's
just
not
like
a-
a joke, when you dissect it, it dies.
No. You take it to the Pokemon Center. Nurse Joy's like, "Oh, look, you have a half-eaten Alcremie. Let me just put it in the toaster. Bada bing, bada boom, it's back."
I'm pretty sure toasting it would kill it more.
Well, you know what I mean, like the healer thing, whatever they use to heal Pokemon.
You're not helping your case.
What do you mean? They have like free healthcare and instant recoveries.
Canada?
Yeah, I mean that's where the Pokemon universe is.
Okay, Garrick.
Ah.
Where is this?
God, John.
Where am I?
I feel bad for your Pokemon.
Nah, don't worry
Ah.
about him.
I vaguely remember like Team Rocket bringing in a giant cake to ambush someone.
Wait,
I
what?
think.
So
Is that a
you're saying
thing?
Team Rocket?
Yeah, I thought Team Rocket did.
I
something.
think I vaguely remember what you're
oh, the
talking
anime?
about.
Was it like Meowth in the cake or something?
Oh, it's supposed to be like a Trojan horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I think that's the first thing I thought of, just a giant cake with a cat in there, supplied by Team Rocket. I vaguely remember it was pink. It was like a birthday cake. It was crazy.
So you pretty much want like a sexy Meowth popping out the cake and dancing for your birthday.
Both Pokemon
Sure.
answers?
It's a giant cake with pink icing, party poppers everywhere, and Team Rocket there to have fun with you and sabotage Ash.
I wish I had thought of a different answer, but it's alright.
Oof.
No, I mean, I have another one, but it's alright. I'll
Oh.
keep with my current one.
I couldn't think of anything. That's the first thing I thought of.
I had
so
the I
I'm
had the
going with it.
perfect one afterwards just because he's just such a great character, but nonetheless.
Oh wow.
Okay, Joey.
We have submitted.
After deliberation, I think I've made my decision.
Oh wow.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Cooking Mama.
Oh, what?
Oh snap!
You
'cause she
you
can
don't
make
want
multiple cakes.
but you don't want Alcremie the cream in your mouth?
He's dead, John. There's only one.
He's
The
not
cake.
alchemy-
dead.
There's only one alchemy. And
that's a
we eat that one
giant
alchemy and it's
alchemy.
dead. It's not. So that's the thing, John, is you don't know anything about giganting.
Oh,
Pokemon
fuck, you're
is
right.
not actually
Play the
giant.
game.
He's
And
just
I
It is just
personally-
projecting a
hologrammed.
giant form
Yeah.
of itself.
Oh, what the fuck is this bullshit?
I would personally be
No, I mean not
Grossed
not
out.
your choice. I'm about the Dynamaxing.
No, I actually
concept.
don't know. They're really like wishy-washy between the like dynamics of Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing, because they'll be like it's like not really happening to your Pokemon. They're just kind of like
it's a hologram. or whatever.
projecting their
Yeah.
energy into this big form. But then later in the game, Pokemon like Gigantamax for real, I guess. Or like they're in the end game, it's like, oh no, there's Gigantamaxing Pokemon randomly in the gyms. We need to take them down. And it's like, wait, so Pokemon
heck?
can just like get all big like this? That's just like a regular occurrence.
I feel like that's just a plot hole.
Can
But yeah, Pokemon I understand that it is a franchise for children,
Yeah,
but I
but you know,
wish that they would have a little bit more like thought and
yeah,
continuity
and stop
to
making the
like
one-off
this.
gimmicks.
Yeah, well, just to like the science in the universe, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I understand like wanting to have the gimmicks, but like, and it's like I feel like the gimmicks with Mega evolving and like Z moves, you can like justify them more. Gigantamaxing is kind of this like, what if Pokemon but kaiju? But how
yeah.
do they become kaiju?
Don't worry about it.
Don't think
worry
about it. Don't worry about it.
I was
Oh,
gonna
man.
say as a secondary Swedish chef, just because he'd be amazing. to
Doesn't
me.
he mess up everything?
That's a pretty good one. What do you mess up
sworn he, like,
everything?
just
I don't
messes
know
up
anything
everything.
about
I don't
Muppets.
either.
I know
I would be
I know some stuff
entertained
about
by
Muppets.
him. That's all I'm gonna say.
Just the
He'd be
making
both
of
the entertainment and the cake maker.
Okay, yeah, like a dinner and a show.
Yeah.
Or a show and
People would
a
be
mess
happy
of a
to see
dinner.
him.
Yeah, I would be all about it. But so I'm glad I went with Cookie Mama then if he messes everything up. Is there any honorary points or are we just going with that? I don't remember how you do your scoring
cream in your
system.
mouth.
Go ahead and give Garrick a point.
Oh, what the?
John just completely out. John, you're
Because
You
I
put
like
the
his
sweet,
deep
sweet
pull.
cream in your mouth.
His deep Team
Yay!
Rocket pull.
yeah.
Thank you, Joey.
I was on board with that too because I was like, wow, that's pretty random obscure episode to remember for especially for someone
I don't know why
that complains
I remember
about
that so well.
me remembering all the most random ass crap. Then you pull
Like
that
of
one
all
out.
the episodes, I just remember that.
Yeah. That's probably the
I'm
most
happy.
obscure memory I think anyone in this group has ever had. So congratulations to that one.
That's such a random episode.
It is.
Well, at least it did stop grossing me out like John's.
I know,
Oh
John.
my-
What do you
I just
mean? It's a
imagine
freaking
this
cake.
deflating cake
Ah.
bleeding all over the table,
Okay,
like,
first of all, it's literally
gasping
made
for
out of
air.
cream, so why would it be bleeding?
holding on to every fiber of its life while a knife is dug through its soft, creamy skin.
It's made out of cream. It can you can scoop it.
John, you've already destroyed yourself in this situation, you monster.
Oh, come on. Joey's the one that played the game. You should know. It's not. There's no internal organs in this thing. It's literally sentient
Doesn't
cream.
make it better. That doesn't make it better at all.
Just imagine putting flubber in your mouth. Come on.
Oh God.
I don't want to imagine putting flubber in my mouth.
Anywho,
When was the last time any of you guys watched Flubber?
it's been a
Oh, it
long
was a
while.
long time ago.
It's a wacky movie. I was thinking about because I got a copy of Shrek sitting in my cabinet, and I see it periodically. And I was thinking to myself, I don't think I've seen Shrek in 20 years,
Oh yeah, same
It's
here.
been a while.
but
it's been a
I
while.
maybe remember that movie beat for beat.
Really?
And I don't know. I don't even think I've seen it that many times. But
I feel
just,
like that's true. Like you can sit there and go through the whole entire
it's very simple, right?
movie
of
It's just
Shrek.
kind of
That's true.
it's like you had the beginning where they come to like you get introduced to Shrek with the not the
Villagers
rioters, the villagers,
yeah.
the
Yeah,
mob, the angry
okay.
mob.
and then he
and
goes
then-
to the kingdom.
Yeah, and then you learn, and then you get the whole kingdom part, and then because it's like the mob, and then they show up. Well, all the fairy creatures show up,
Right.
Yeah.
and then he has to go and be like, "Yo, what's the deal?"
Right.
And then he's like, "I want my princess." And
Right.
then Shrek gets Donkey, and they go and they get Fiona. And
And then they find out
Yeah.
her secret, and then then they fall in love, and then they have to fight that crap, and and then
Wedding.
Donkey finds Dragon, and
Oh, hot.
yeah, and then the Ricky Martin one, and then Ricky Martin
Ricky
piece at the
Martin?
end,
Wait,
which is
what?
fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Living La Vida Loca. You don't
Yeah,
remember?
yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Now explain any of the 2, 3, or 4, or 5 Shrek Fry. Those sequels.
Two
Does
was
anyone
the
remember any of them?
continuation of the kingdom and them getting
They
married and
they
having
were all
kids.
continuations.
Yeah, but
But
that
no,
one
the-
specifically, wasn't it?
isn't Shrek 2 is like the marriage, right? And it's
Yeah.
like
And then
a
he
big
becomes
deal because
king.
Shrek has to meet with the in-laws,
Yeah,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
right? And then there's that whole subplot where because Shrek's the Prince Charming and the fairy godmother is able to like turn him human, and he like thinks that's what Fiona wants. I think I've seen Shrek 2 once maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. No. It's like 3.
The third one
4.
is where they're actually in the kingdom.
But no, what I'm saying is I'm surprised at how much of the story that I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
Yeah, I'm
know.
not
Like
surprised.
you'd be surprised at how much of that whole story you can remember. They did a really good job writing it. Even the sequel and the third one were like decent for being a sequel or third movie. I don't think I saw the fourth one, but anyhow, yeah, that's when they're actually king and queen of the kingdom, and they actually do have the kids in the third one, and then Dragon and Donkey have babies too, I believe, right?
no, I think that's the
Could have been the
end
of
of
the
the
second
first
one.
one.
I think it was the end of the first one, and then
Yeah, I
that's
think
when
it's
they're
the end of
like,
the
"Are you
first
gonna
one.
have babies or something like that?"
Oh yeah,
Like Shrek, talking to Shrek,
right. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
and then
Yeah.
yeah.
I will say by like the third one, it becomes super hazy, but
Yep.
there's still some like
I
memories
believe
back to it.
Shrek 3 is with one of the baby Shreks.
Okay, yeah, because he talks about like how long it takes to conceive baby ogres and stuff like that. I think
I
Yeah, I
don't
don't
know
think
that
I've
now.
ever seen Shrek 3.
What about Shrek 4? Classic.
no
Is
one's
Shrek
seen
4?
that one.
Yeah, that was Shrek 4.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
no one's
no.
seen that one. That doesn't exist in canon. Okay, what else is going
Anyway,
on?
to move off of the little injection of Shrek into the podcast.
Well,
Oh,
Shrek is
good
love.
time.
Shrek is life, man.
There's
there
something on
Shrek
here that
5?
just says Mass Effect
Sorry.
Legendary Edition.
I don't know, man. I thought that was you. Either way, it looks cool, right?
I'm gonna be that guy. I've only played Mass Effect 1, and I like kind of tried Mass Effect 2 and didn't really like it that much.
I
I like
was
2.
kind of the same thing. I tried 1. It was okay. 2, I just couldn't get into it.
See, I love 1. I've played 1 multiple times.
Yeah.
I just don't. I think it's mostly because they like stripped a bunch of the how do I put it?
Mechanics.
I don't want to say RPG stuff, but like a lot of the RPG stuff, like the armor and like the different weapons that you find in the world, and
Oh,
like
wow.
you're like looting containers and they have like randomized drops and stuff like that. And yeah, it just felt like with Mass Effect 2, they wanted to just make the game more of a third person
Yeah.
cover
Action
shooter
cover shooter.
that happened to have like more detailed character relationships and conversations. And like that's not what I came to like Mass Effect for. I came to the franchise for its like sci-fi power fantasy, not necessarily its like character stuff.
Well,
And yeah, for when ever like I feel like the main thing about like Mass Effect 2 that everybody goes on and on about is like, oh, the companion quests, all the and it's like I don't care about companions. I played through Mass Effect 1 with the same companions, and I do every single time. Like I just run the same team because I want that like power fantasy, that like sci-fi power fantasy.
I don't know if it was here or maybe on a different forum that we're on, John, that you had mentioned that the remaster is kind of like just a skin over the original because there's still a lot of like.
it's just 4K textures and some new kind of lighting improvement.
So it
like,
still
if you
has
look at,
bugs and stuff, right?
no, they fixed bugs and stuff like that, and they've like rebalanced some stuff
Okay.
from what the article I was reading. But the funny thing is, like, it looks like a nice paint, like still frames. You look at before and after. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, it looks pretty. But when you see it in motion, I'm sorry, like I'm very like very like critique anime, like very what's the word I'm looking for? Snob about when it comes to animation. And the animation is just the old animations they have from the original, release, and it looks like garbage. Like, I'm sorry, but it's like you see these weird characters running with like these HD 4K textures, and you're like, I can't,
Yeah.
I just can't.
I
But,
was
mean,
oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sure most people will be okay with it. But again, it's like when it comes to animation, I like mine to be like nice. They look good.
I kind of see what you're saying. Like I'm watching the trailer, and even in the trailer, it's kind of like stiff,
Yeah, it's
wooden
very stiff. It's
legs
Very
and
all
stuff like
hand
that.
janky.
animation, but it's like you can animate these by hand and make it look beautiful. It's a game, and they probably didn't have the time to do it. Uh,
Right. It's just
so
when
yeah,
I hate that we always have to bring it back, but Modern Warfare did such a fantastic job at
Oh no.
making the characters feel like they're
yeah.
real.
Well, I think a lot of Modern Warfare is mocap. Don't quote me on this. That's what I'm guessing.
I am.
Uh,
It's
Yeah, and you're
possible.
comparing like a decade old game
yeah,
No, but what John's
to
saying
a
is
modern
like
game.
doing a remaster like this, you'd want, or at least I feel like you'd want to at least start getting closer to
That's
a
the
yeah,
thing. It's
modern
like that's when
thing.
you're making the distinction between a remaster and a remake,
yeah.
right? It's like when
Right.
Yeah.
you start going in there and
You're just remaking it.
reshooting mocap, you're remaking the game.
Yeah,
You're not just
with the new
remastering it.
engine and all that, like
Yeah.
you might as well just make a new a sequel or something or
I do
Right,
reboot.
like
but would
yeah.
people go for that? I feel like people would 10 years later go
Yeah.
for a completely remade Mass
Well, here's
Effect.
my answer. I I played Mass Effect 3. I liked it a lot. Uh and I tried to play 1 and 2, but I never got into it because by the time I got my hands on Mass Effect 3, 1 and 2 was already aged like a fine wine, and I was just too distracted by all the jankiness of not
That'll make it
only
good.
just the animations but
That make it
also
good.
the jet. What?
Ain't you like rotting cheese?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Like already
Uh,
moldy cheese.
Oh,
janky graphics as well. You guys keep distracting me. Um, but yeah, now I don't know how to complete my thought. But anyways, that's it. Yeah.
yeah.
I forgot what the whole reason why now because I was trying to listen.
uh,
Um,
I think well, I don't think Mass Effect can do this, but I think Halo 2's remaster was like fantastic, just because they got to do like CG cutscenes and like recreate those cutscenes in like beautiful CG. Like one of the scenes in Halo 2 is when Captain Keyes, I think, or what's her name? Keyes' daughter. But yeah.
Miranda.
Yeah, Miranda Keyes. She's running with the artifact, and in the original in-game engine cutscene, it was so janky. It looked like uh it was the character's posed with her hand out and it was just like bobbing across the screen.
yeah.
It's probably just it was the crappiest animation I've ever seen, but when they, redid it in CG, it looked fantastic.
I,
Oh,
And
that's what I was trying to. My whole point before I was really interrupted.
yeah.
I wanted. I was too distracted. Like, me playing the game more recently, Mass Effect 3. I was too distracted by the older generation
Yeah.
graphics and the polygons and all that, and it would just kept on taking me out. Even though
Yeah.
essentially a good game shouldn't really matter no matter how old it is and how old the graphics are. Like people are still playing GoldenEye 007 like on the original N64, but it for me it's just like it's one and the same. I need recent graphics to enjoy the game, uh, and I'm hoping this will entice me to actually play 1 and 2, give it another go,
Yeah, it looks
and
pretty.
enjoy it to its fullest.
I like 2. 2 was really good. 1, I didn't like the game mechanics, so that's what turned me off from it. It was less the graphics, because I can still play old games and they don't bother me. It's really the gameplay that bothers me in a lot of instances. I wasn't a fan
Yeah,
of Mass
and see,
Effect.
I'm the opposite. I much prefer the game mechanics of Mass Effect 1 over Mass Effect 2.
The thing for me that was a problem is that I think I can probably say like you liked Mass Effect 1's systems. I liked the simplification of those systems in 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say because that's the thing is like Mass Effect 2 just felt like they made a sci-fi Gears of War.
Shooter, yeah. And I
Yeah,
like just
like cover
straight
shooter,
on
pop and
rail
stop.
shooters. and you like decision making and the like Skyrim effect, I'm not into
you
yeah,
that.
like character builds.
Did you
and-
guys
Right.
play Mass Effect 3?
Yes.
Don't think
I didn't because I didn't play Mass Effect 2,
Okay.
so I
Yeah.
was like,
Th-
I was like, if this
three-
is the direction the series is going, I want nothing to do with it.
Did I?
Yeah, like one was this giant like completely different idea from anything at its time. Two was a dumbed down shooter, and three was literally the for dummies version of Mass Effect.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think
Oh,
that Mass Effect
awkward.
2 does
I like
ambitious
3.
things with
Yeah.
its like squad and the NPCs and companions and stuff like that, but it's just like that's not what I like came
It
to
felt
the
like a
first game
different
for.
game from the first one.
Yeah.
The reason why you stuck with the
It felt
second
like a
one from the
relationship. It felt like a relationship simulator that was housed in
a shooter.
cover shooter.
Right.
Yeah.
That I can agree with for sure.
And like I don't care about these I don't care about forming relationships with these like non-existent beings, you know what I mean? Cuz it's like one thing cuz it's like in like Fallout, I'll talk to NPCs in Fallout and have companions in Fallout because it's like I'm interested about the game world, but not it has nothing to do with like the relationship between the character that I'm playing and the individual NPC.
Yeah, I agree.
Where I
That
feel like
is-
Mass Effect is built a lot around like how you as your shepherd character is interacting and forming these relationships with your companions.
And who
And
Yeah.
I just don't care about that shit.
I agree. It's a little distracting, but what they did get right with the whole franchise is your choices do actually matter, and that's a very important thing that like it's hard for developers to actually get it right, and I think Mass Effect was one of the um, game series that actually got it right, and it actually felt like your story was impacted by everything you did, and you had to make a hard decision almost every single time. And down the road, when you didn't think it affected anything, it did. Oh, it did. And I like that.
I feel like they need to take a book out of Fable's gameplay and add an STD counter, because that's very
There you go.
important.
An alien STD counter too.
Yes, 78 STDs in 2 hours, baby.
Oh yeah.
And now, no joke, that was like probably one of the funnest random shit that I've ever done in a game before. Just going into a bar and just picking random people and seeing who had the STDs and like trying to get that counter up. It was stupid and random, but nonetheless. Mass Effect 2 didn't. I definitely agree with you. It felt like there was some pushing you to build the relationship. I didn't feel that in 3 though. And maybe it's just because I didn't take those side quest routes to have a relationship, or if I did, I don't remember them very well. 3 very much felt like I was sitting on a ride at Disneyland and going through the motions.
Yeah, like yeah, that's hard for me to compare because I didn't really play 1 and 2 enough. But for 3, I didn't feel distracted by relationships. I felt like
It
they were
it was an
enough.
option.
They were enough to like enhance the whole story. Like everything's interconnected essentially. Not, oh, let's get distracted by making sure these people are happy instead of just using them like and moving on.
It was a
from there.
casual relationship where you met with the girl occasionally, but you were trying to advance your career more so than be with someone.
Sure.
Yeah, it's cool. I'd go for a remake. I am definitely not getting the remaster, but
Yeah,
I'm
just
glad
wait
for the people I get it.
Oh no,
A
I was
good
planning
sequel.
on getting it.
I feel like
Oh, awkward.
you and then Brandon will definitely probably get it because
'cause-
Brandon
Yeah.
loved Mass Effect 1 with his
Yeah,
whole
and I want to
being.
give it a chance again. I really want to give it a chance and see what I missed out with at least the first
Oh, the
one.
first one.
With age, I have not changed in my gameplay taste, so either I'm playing a full-on strategy game or I'm not playing it at all if it has
Yeah.
strategy elements.
Yeah, and it's a
I'm
little
weird.
nostalgia too,
Yeah.
because I
Oh.
really love Mass Effect 3. So hopefully I can work my way all the way up to
Wow.
that eventually.
Yeah, I
Three
think it's a
games
cool
in one.
universe, but so yeah, it's like I have no interest in going back to that story.
Nope.
I don't have that nostalgic feeling. And the gameplay, I feel like it was janky when I played it too. It was like, yeah, didn't really.
I did
keep my
like
interest.
the multiplayer like co-op
There's
wave.
multiplayer. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
it was like
Yeah.
waves. It was kind of like
Oh, is this 3?
two.
No,
It
yeah,
was
it's
like,
free.
let's put horde mode in the game.
Yeah,
because
essentially
what
that's-
it
It's not
seemed
multiplayer,
like,
it's just-
and
yeah,
we can
that's-
monetize it and sell
Yeah,
microtransactions.
That's
even
Hey,
slapped
better.
we-
on multiplayer.
Well, we didn't fall for the microtransactions,
but it was fun
we
to
put
play.
a lot of hours into
You still
it. It
fell.
was really
you fell for
fun.
the trap by playing it.
It was fun though.
I enjoyed it.
Did you even give it a chance? Oh wait, you never made it there. But it was fun. I guarantee you.
No, because I didn't fall in the trap.
There was no
Yeah, it's like
trap,
around that-
Joey.
It's no trap. It's a
No, around that
feature.
time, all the developers
No,
were like
it's a
slapping
trap.
on a multiplayer. Like
Yes.
Assassin's Creed had fucking multiplayer.
I
for
liked
some
Assassin's
reason.
Creed
It's
that is a
multiplayer.
trap.
No, don't even.
It
Start
was
with
it was it was
Okay,
it was
no,
fun,
no,
but it wasn't
no, no,
it
no,
wasn't like
no. You cannot
replayable.
say
At
something
least
is a
Assassin's Creed multiplayer. At least
was
Assassin's Creed
fun.
multiplayer was creative,
It
Right,
right? Like
it
Mass
was
Effect
different.
The
was straight
reason,
up like,
okay,
what if
the-
just horde mode?
the reason why Mass Effect worked as a horde mode is because it brought that co-op nature with it and allows you to
squad.
do the co-op squad with
Yeah.
Yeah, with
actual people.
Yeah, okay.
It
Yeah.
kind of instead of doing it with random like
Still not fun,
AI where you control when to do their powers, that's like you're just essentially an extension of yourself. I'm not playing Final Fantasy or whatever these games are. I'm playing. I want to play make it feel like it's a little more realistic, even though it is horde mode and it's repeatable,
The-
gets more quickly.
the
We
thing
put a lot of work, time
that-
into it.
made it difficult to justify is the fact that Warzone had come out with horde mode beforehand, and it was basically a bona fide copy of it in their own universe.
I mean, Call of Duty,
No,
Warzone?
not Warzone. Fucking
Gears of War.
Gears of War. Thank you.
Oh, Gears of War.
I had like
Yeah.
literal full on vision of Marcus Phoenix in my head, but said Warzone.
Oh my!
Anyhow, Gears of War had done it before. That's the reason why it felt
Yeah.
like a bona fide like copy. And
Yeah.
I will agree with
Not
Joey.
even just Gears. Like by that point, tons of other people have had
Mhm.
jumped on the bandwagon and made a
even
horde
It
Halo
mode
was
and
it was
stuff.
a trend, I'll admit. But
Like,
Call
I
of
were
Duty
late
feel
to
like
the party
did it,
on
yeah.
it.
I
Call of
personally
Duty
I
was 3.
I feel like the Mass Effect the horde mode co-op was more memorable to me, and I miss it the most.
right.
Everything else, like Gears of War, it was cool. I learned how to say turret correctly. But
Wait,
other
oh,
than
what
that,
did you say before? What?
I used to
Turret.
call it turret with an N.
Yeah.
A
But
lot
we
of
had
people
this
do
long,
that.
drawn out conversation
How do you
playing
spell
that.
turret? Wait, what?
But anyways, yeah, it was just like I don't know why I felt I enjoyed that more than anything else, and I wished it came back, and I wish we could play it again, where like to its full effect, to its full Mass Effect.
No, but I
I see
agree
what
with
you did
Joey.
there.
I think Assassin's Creed actually had its own place in that situation. Like being
Like
such a unique
it was.
game.
It was a just tacked on multiplayer in the sense of like this is a single player property that doesn't need to have multiplayer injected
Need to
into it.
Check off that multiplayer
But-
tab.
For what it's worth, they at least
Yeah,
tried to
that's
put
fine.
in like an interesting style of multiplayer that fit within the game world and fit within the constructs of the gameplay mechanics.
Mhm.
Because they could have totally just put in like a multiplayer horde mode where like you and four other people just stand in a circle and counter dudes forever.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I my argument here is I don't see that as like a gimmick or anything like, or what did you say, like we bought into it or whatever. If it's an additional feature on top of a game that you're not paying any extra for and you would have bought the game anyhow, like if you're buying it solely for that, yes. If you're buying it to buy more into it, yes. We didn't pay anything extra. We just played that as an additional thing once we beat the campaign to have more to do in the game. So, I mean, we could argue that Warzone's that way because I've spent a decent amount on
Maybe you
Warzone.
should. Maybe
yeah,
you shouldn't
and
play Warzone.
No, but I love Warzone. Like that's the difference. Like I put a lot of hours into it. I enjoy it. You can argue the same thing with League of Legends. You can argue with any game. It just if you like it, who cares? But yeah, no,
I do, and I'm gonna judge you for it.
But and I'm on the same page as you. Mass Effect was really late to the game. I was looking it up just for the hell of it. Call of Duty World at War, the first one that introduced Treyarch zombies, came out in 2008, and then whatchamacallit, Gears of War 2, which introduced Horde mode, came out in 2008 as well. They came out days apart. I think those were the first things that ignited that fire of Horde modes.
Oh wow.
So they were late. I want to see when Mass Effect, was it Mass Effect 3 or 2 that came out with the Horde mode?
It was 3. Mass Effect 2 doesn't have any multiplayer in it.
So Mass Effect 3 came
I
out
remember
in
it was like a
2012.
big deal when it was a big deal when Mass Effect 3 had multiplayer in the first place because people were like, why?
Yeah, 4
you
years
know.
later. So they were like so far off the train it wasn't even funny. Like anyhow, if they bring back the multiplayer element of it and then do a remake of maybe 2, I'd be maybe down to try the series again.
I would play it
But
again.
Andromeda
just
kind of
only
killed
again.
things for me because I did try the
Yeah.
multiplayer in Andromeda and it felt like poop.
What? Does a multiplayer manager?
Oh,
Jeez.
It was
yeah.
it was the Horde mode again
I never got past like 3 hours worth of gameplay. I was
on
just
Andromeda.
so
Me
over
either.
it.
I got it.
Ugh.
A friend gave it to me and I tried it and it was like I wish I could be into this more because I loved the multiplayer in 2 so
Same.
much, but I don't know.
Or they can just make a brand new Mass Effect game.
Yeah,
that'd be
reboot
cool too.
with the older mechanics. That actually was exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah.
All right, talk about the Expanse for a while.
just go. We'll be back in 20
Yeah, just
minutes.
All
go
right.
and
Joey and I will be back.
So just a heads up, there will be spoilers with this the Expanse TV show review on Amazon Prime. John and I love this show a lot.
So good.
So let's start with John. Go ahead.
Oh, dude, I'll rate this season like 8 out of 10.
Wow.
Pretty good. You know, you start with a big explosive beginning, fantastic, and then you get some
Like a night after
character
Taco
moments.
Bell?
Exactly. I mean, pretty much. But imagine like a planet side,
Oh,
scale version
yes.
Okay.
of that.
Tell me more.
And then you get. I mean, some of the middle episodes were kind of. I mean, they were definitely like they weren't filler. They're more like kind of character moments, like really
Yeah,
going into the
development.
crew of the Rocinante crew, and
Yeah.
and then you end with a explosive cliffhanger.
Diarrhea.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow,
indeed.
guys.
There's just so much about the Expanse to love. The biggest thing that people always come back and comment on are the space battles. The physics in space is very
love physics.
grounded. It's
Yeah.
grounded with our physics too, and
Uh-huh.
like how people can stroke out and from too many G's.
Yeah.
And
Or
speaking of,
getting shot in space, like
Oh,
no
yes.
gravity and you're bleeding out, like that's horrifying.
it's worse because your blood just pools in your
Yep.
body without gravity
Yeah.
helping. So
Yeah.
but the biggest thing, like, there's a few points that we would like to point out, or I would like to point out, and John can add, is season 6 is going to be the final season. And the reason why is they've caught up to the books. So this is based on it's adapted from books, but the good news is that there's 3 more books in the works. The problem is, and I personally believe this is a good move compared to some other shows, Game of Thrones, who decided to push past what the books had released and try to carve their own way with the
Well,
story because they were going for the money grab.
Well, not only push past, they rushed past. They sprinted because they didn't want to continue that series. That's the problem with Game of Thrones.
Exactly. So that's the thing that really is idiotic is they could have put it on pause like they're planning to do with the final season next season, quote unquote, and and then they're gonna wait for the other books to come out, and then they're gonna pick it up with a few advancement in the years, with the
Well, yeah,
hopefully the same actors aged up a little bit too,
Yeah.
naturally.
think
See, I was gonna say,
that's
why
why
didn't they do
it-
that? That makes
Well,
that made
that's
no
why I
sense.
think this works so well from them is because I believe from what I've read, I don't know much about the books, but there is a significant time jump between this like kind of gap, so they don't have to worry about like actors aging too much or stuff because there is going to be a time jump. With Game of Thrones, you have like like the kid characters are already like adults by the time end of the season, even though only like a couple years pass. So it's like it's weird
Yeah,
for that to happen, anyways.
exactly.
So yeah, it's just not the most ideal situation with Game of Thrones. Like there's a situation where the books aren't finished,
It was
but they need to
rougher.
like they need to finish it because everyone's growing old. And it's like
Yeah.
How
the
many
story isn't supposed to be last
seasons
that long.
of Game of Thrones was there in total?
8, I believe.
I think it was 8.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, but like you said, so they might continue on the Expanse, so that would make sense why they're cutting it short at
Yeah.
6.
So what they're planning to do, you could read the whole interview there if you're really interested. But what they're planning to do is, um, leave the story satisfied. So as if they're about to, like, totally end the series, like no more Expanse after season 6, but leave a little opening just in case they are able to pick up the following seasons after the other books release.
Yeah.
So they really thought about it. They're passionate about it. The actors are passionate about it, and you can really tell, like all the actors, everyone's fans of the show themselves, and probably the books too. And it really shows, like, the biggest difference between um, just a job and loving what you're doing. Um, but there was a controversy with the Expanse with Alex, and you can look it up. Alex is a character; he's the pilot, and
The Martian
spoiler
pilot.
again, they kill off Alex during a scene that felt so out of place,
Yeah. That's
and
unfortunate.
and pretty much, like, the director had a perfect scene right before they showed Alex having another person rescued from
Yeah.
space that
main
got
character.
jettisoned from space, the main character, and it was beautiful the way that it was shot. And all of a sudden, she got rescued, and they got to
Yeah.
the ship, and it was like, what happened to Alex? Like, hello, and it ruined the total mood.
Yeah, they
What?
shot it so well. It's like you thought this character that you followed for how many seasons? I forgot how many seasons. It says right there. 5
Like,
seasons,
5
right? You fell in love
seasons.
with this character. You thought she was gonna die in space, and she gets rescued, and then they cut to him dead. The other character dead.
Yeah.
It's like we just had this emotional roller coaster ride, and then you cut to the another main character. Alex is another main character. He's a pilot
Bait and switch.
Who-
so
who-
so
who's dead too. So he's like, what? Why?
so in the
It doesn't make
review,
sense.
in the article, in this interview, basically, like, it's a very shallow answer, but basically what the producer or one of the showrunners said is, like, we wanted to add this emotion, like, not no one's invincible, but yes, we know the real answer, which is the controversy
Yeah.
behind the actor. But
Like, I bet
why
if
did
you
they
didn't
just
know,
go out and say that we're gonna kill him off because this isn't right, and we
Well, they
don't
did.
stand for this?
They
Okay.
did. I mean, pretty much his contract ended this season because I think this like kind of controversy, like it's a sexual harassment thing, happened before or during the filming of the season, and so his contract ended at this season, so that's why they wrote him out.
Oh, okay.
It just
so
felt
it's kind of weird.
so rushed and just kind of placed in there. Just
That's usually how
because.
it works, though. Like with
Um,
that kind of stuff. Like they did
yeah,
the same
mean-
exact
Yeah.
thing with the ranch, and Danny Masterson's character is just like all of a sudden
Gone.
this dramatic thing happens and he drives off a
Yeah.
mountain. It's like, okay, why
Yeah.
would this guy that's been driving motorcycles his whole damn life drive off of a mountain?
They just ruined the whole scene. And the thing so what I was trying to get to, this producer or someone said that they planned this out because they're not, like, this was the whole always part of the story and stuff, because we want to make sure that no one is invincible. Our heroes aren't invincible. We don't want you to get used to it. But
Yeah.
I was ready. I was ready for the chick to die because they made because
Yeah, they made
like
it
they
seem like
her
I had
death
accepted
was
her
going to
death.
be a heroic death. She
Yeah.
did all she could to protect her friends and protect her people. But and then all of a sudden this guy
Takes
like
the limelight.
hello? Like
yeah, pretty much. Essentially, like
dim-
he took that.
it diminished the whole like gravitas of
Yeah.
the other character being rescued and just dying for what she believed.
I felt so like at the same level with Master Chief in the was it the third or fourth Halo where he's just like floating in the space and him and Cortana there and he's just like, well, this is it, and you're like, oh, he's dead, and then they show him again in the fifth one, like,
No, he says,
what?
Wake me when something happens or something. Oh, wake me when you need me.
Yeah, but like everyone's like, oh, he died in cryo space because he froze and it was over, and it's like, nope, he's fine. It's like
All the advertising for
It's
that
just-
was like, Master Chief died protecting us.
yeah,
No.
it's just like typical Spartan 117. Who cares?
He's always alive.
It's just like, dude, you haven't eaten in like 10 years. Just like, what's going
What do you
on
mean
here?
in cryo? Come
Yeah.
And no,
Yeah,
he just
other than
doesn't
that,
eat in general. How do you like? I bet the inside of his suit smells like shit.
on. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he hasn't taken off since 1 through all this, all of them.
Well,
But
yeah,
no,
at
he takes
this
up to
point,
2.
he's
2 he
pretty
gets a new
much
suit.
he's pretty much melded into the suit. Like he's one with the suit by
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Delicious. Oh, it smells
Yeah.
great in there.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
God.
overall, I'm excited. It's gonna be a bittersweet thing to watch season 6 because it's gonna end there, and we don't know how long it's gonna take
Yeah.
for hopefully the following seasons to come.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were a lot of cliffhangers for season 5, and
Yeah, a lot of
it's
things
just
set up,
like
too.
WTFs going on.
Lots
Like-
of WTF moments.
Can't wait. Like it's a cliffhanger. Like so. Okay, so I want to one more thing. So the ending
Uh-huh.
was they concluded the season and wrapped it up nicely, but they also alluded to the next season with question marks. So you're not getting question marks about what happened in this season, but new question marks being introduced for the next season, what to expect. And I like that. It's I don't know, can you I guess you can call it still a cliffhanger, but it's not so jarring where oh god, there's no full circle conclusion for what's been happening with
Yeah,
the
I
story
mean,
this season.
It's a good cliffhanger because this season's arc is complete, but you're left with like wanting more. That's how I
Yes.
think cliffhanger should always be.
Well done.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives you the
Not just, like, drop
possibility.
dead.
It's like open end.
yeah.
Yeah.
I hate when they just like the band gets shot or something. You know, it's like it just ends. It's like what do you mean it just ends? Like there's
Yeah.
no finish. There's no conclusions. You can't do that.
Yeah. It's a disservice to the fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well-
Yeah. Other than that, yeah. I will rate it a 9. 8.5 out of 10.
I do
Because
think
because some of the episodes were dragging on, but they were necessary.
and I think they really put a lot of the budget in the first few episodes when like the big inciting incident was
oh
happening.
yes,
Because
yes.
some of the later stuff was like, oh, that's kind of wonky. Kind of seems like you lost a little budget there, but yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
I think you're right, John.
Yeah. But again, I think those
it,
were more about diving deeper into those characters and their
Yeah.
backstories. So,
it was
yeah, makes
warranted,
sense.
but the budget disparity, I believe it was worth it as well, because what we got in those beginning episodes
Oh, yeah.
was amazing. It was
Yeah.
just amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Wonderful.
Damn.
All right. Wow.
We were so vague. Not much spoilers
know.
except for that.
A little bit, yeah.
There were some
Not too much.
spoilers, I think. I even
There were
did a
some
spoiler.
spoilers.
I definitely did a spoiler for
when you get
the ranch in
to
Halo.
Alex, you'll say, okay,
yeah.
okay, it's all right. It's all right that
Yeah.
you
I
spoiled
feel like
him.
even you didn't like know the behind the scenes controversy of it, you'd be like been in search what's up
You're like, oh,
because it was
hello?
it was like what the fuck.
Yeah, ruined it. Like, omit Alex, and that would have been a perfect scene for that episode. All right, that's it. That's enough.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us here on the Phat Peeps podcast. Before we go, what's going on over on the Twitch?
Oh yeah, the cameraman John Twitch. That's a wonderful Twitch. Thanks for mentioning that, Joey. Well, we're doing Monday, Wednesday, Fridays from 6:30 Pacific time. We're just doing a grab bag of games. We did our first draw a Pokemon from memory game on last Monday.
Oh, fun.
That was fun. Yeah. What do you guys think, Garrick and PJ? You think we should do that again?
It was fun. I'd definitely do it again. And honestly, I kind of want you to give me the footage of that so we could get it on YouTube. I think a lot of people be interested in
Oh.
that. So if you guys are interested in that, let us know in the
Actually,
comments.
let's do it next time. We'll record it too.
Oh yeah, okay. That
Oh
sounds
yeah, I'm down.
fun.
Maybe preferably a topic that I'm a little more familiar with because I ended up drawing a snake instead of a moth.
I feel like I
Spoiler.
just
Dark
wasn't
Souls?
emphasizing my. I would what?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, that's,
It was-
I
it
can
was-
host that one
It was a
because
joke.
I can describe everything for you
I
guys.
Well,
I
I
legit.
think-
Oh,
Okay, that'd be
That's fair.
interesting actually.
I think Pokemon is so good is you can actually like break down the names and kind of guess. I mean, it's not going to be like it's
A
not
lot
gonna
of
be
the time,
one to
yeah.
one, but you
'Cause
you
it's
can.
usually a
can we
pun.
just stick with
Yeah.
the first generation?
No, I think that's the fun part is
No.
not knowing what they are
Oh,
and trying
no.
to break apart the punny names and figure out what they're trying to what the character is. I think that's a fun part
Yeah.
of the Pokemon. Or
We could,
drawing
Well,
we
Pokemon
could
'cause
do
I spent-
Digimon next time.
Because I
Does it do the
spent
same thing?
way too much
No,
time trying
at
to
all.
dissect the name,
Yeah.
and then my drawing suffers. What lack there is. There is
We should also like be more. I think John had the right idea and took his time with it. I mean, you were felt very rushed in the situation, so giving
Well,
ourselves
'cause
time.
I don't have any direction other
Right.
than like.
So
the
let's
name,
get
and
let's
I'm
get
not
Joey on
familiar.
next time and have him as like a
Ooh,
curator, instead.
moderator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that would be a little bit more
Ooh,
interesting,
tempting.
especially for the audience, because that leaves a lot more open discussion. Because we're not trying to like guide each other, and the person that's drawing actually can focus on the drawing. So that'd be
Yes.
interesting. So let us know what you guys thought about that, if you watched it, and what you think about us doing a video out of it and another stream and all this other ideas. Anything else, John, special for this week off the top of your head?
No. Oh, I mean, next week we're gonna have our singles appreciation day on Monday the
Oh,
15th.
whoa.
Tune in for some singles and ready to mingles fun times. I was trying to make that rhyme, but I couldn't figure out a word that rhymes with shingles.
try.
Oh, and get some shingles. There you go.
Oh God. We're not Dr. Seuss here, I guess.
I know, I'm not definitely not.
Also, as like a bridge, we usually don't mention it, but on the Discord channel, if you haven't joined over there yet, we do have a contest going on for this month. There are 2 grand prize winners. At the end of the month, one is going to be chosen by us, the Phat Peeps, and another one will be chosen by the community on the night of the stream, which we like conclude the contest. It is zodiac signs, so whether it's Chinese or astrological,
I messed that up last time too.
zodiacs. Yeah, I can never remember the word. Just go ahead and submit it. It could be your favorite one, it could be your personal sign, whatever you want it to be. Just do it in your own style and show us it.
Or make a
Oh, yeah.
fusion. Ooh,
Make a fusion.
like
That'd be cool too.
Ooh.
Like a
Impress us.
cancerous ox. You take
That
the Chinese.
sounds
and then the
horrible.
Astrological, the crab cancer, not cancer.
I feel like there's just gonna be a giant tumored ox
No, the
in
crab.
a drawing. Yeah. So make sure you guys check that out. If you're an artist or even if you're not, just go have some fun. We appreciate seeing your guys' art. It inspires us and it gives us drive to keep going. On the YouTube channel, this week we have, of course, this podcast. It's also available on all major podcasting directories. So if you guys are in the middle of the video and need to go for a drive, heading to work, you can listen to it on Spotify or wherever podcasts are found. And then we have another Bug Snacks video with me and John later this week. And then we will have a Warzone dub from Garrick on Sunday. Somehow we continue to have dubs even though we're atrocious.
Oh
Or
yeah.
are those one of those lying dubs where you don't even dub?
Well,
Yeah.
you'll have to just tune in to find
It's
out.
just- Sometimes we actually dub over them.
Whoa.
So that's probably why I still call them dubs. You never
that makes
know.
sense.
Yeah. So there's double meaning to it. But
Yes.
anything for you, Joey? Anything that you have coming up?
We'll see. I got some ideas.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I like the secrecy. So tune in for that too.
Anyway, that's going to do it for us here on the Phat Peeps podcast. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Moist.
Moist.
I want someone to make a club remix of that, like moist, 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 moist.
Oh, God.